Chicago. This is my home. This is where I came for Thanksgiving. And this is where I hope to confront a question I've had in my mind for a great long time. As I was walking through the zoo and looking at all these beautiful lights, I realized something. A Christmas tree. And then, of course, I remembered that time when I was a young kid where I dressed up as a Christmas tree. And then I wondered, why is my name Tree? It's not my first name, but it's the name I go by, and it's the name I've been called since the day I was born. And I realized I haven't really asked my parents this. And so I took my mom and I asked her, why Tree? Where did my name come from?
What name?
Don't worry, you're
Just kidding.
in the dark.
I'm in the dark.
Yeah.
I feel very... okay, so when, after a little bit, when I was pregnant with you, I had this friend. I don't like her very much, actually. She's one of those friends that, like, you can't get rid of. Like, she'll never let you go, even though you ignore her to death. She's maybe the only friend I've ever ignored, because I've tried so hard, but I can't get rid of her. Anyway, that's besides the point. She said, I called her up one day to tell her that I was pregnant, and she's like, oh, a little seed has been planted, a little sapling is growing, a little baby tree. And then that was weird. So then we always thought that was kind of funny, and we made fun of it a little bit. Called you, so we started calling you Baby Tree, and then that was for several months, I believe. And you were just Baby Tree's coming. It was a complete joke. And at the same time, your older brother Kyle, who was 8, his entire
8
world.
or 6.
What?
He's 8.
He was 8. His entire world was about the NBA. And he wanted us to name you after an NBA basketball star of some sort. So he was like, we gotta name you Michael, like Michael Jordan. But we didn't want such a boring name. Like, we really wanted an interesting name, more unique. So Michael was out. And so he's like, name him Shaquille and Hakeem and all these names that clearly we were not going to name you.
White kid from Salt Lake City.
And so we just kind of like ignored him, said it's never going to happen. And then one day in June, I want to say, no, I don't know. How long do we go? When is basketball season over? March?
Born in May.
Doesn't basketball season end?
Oh, yeah, you were born in May. Okay, well, that's better. So maybe it was March. I don't know. And we were Kyle was watching a basketball game, and it was the Orlando Magic. And Shaq was the center, played as the center on Orlando Magic at the time. But he wasn't playing that day, and their backup center was playing, and guess what his name was? Tree Rawlings. And your dad and I looked at each other, and we were like, oh no, it's a sign. So not only have we been calling you Baby Tree like this entire time, but then an NBA basketball player named Tree is playing, and then that satisfies your brother's need for his NBA brother player name. And from from that moment on, we just kind of looked at each other and started laughing and said, I think we're going to name him Tree. But then we were kind of afraid to tell everybody that.
For good reason.
And the response to the name was interesting, to say the least.
Are you a hippie?
Well, I think our parents were horrified. It wasn't like even, are you a hippie? It was like, you're what? You're doing what? But it worked, I think. Except for that. And you've gone by Tree. Well, so your dad gave you, decided you needed a first name. And I don't even know, he kind of came up with Ethan.
I was just gonna ask about that.
I don't really know where it came from. He was just like, Ethan Tree sounds good. And Ethan was kind of popular at the time, so that's weird because I thought we wanted something unique. I think we were trying to like offset it with like the least unique name at the moment.
The most popular name in the 90s.
Yeah, it was pretty popular at the time. And so we offset it, and he always said that we'd give you a normal first name. So after you were grown up and in therapy, you always had the chance and the choice to go back to a normal name.